What's up? I have plenty to talk about and share here for some 1980 Caprice door panels, 4-door. Got a headliner shell sitting here for 87 Suburban I showed a while back. That'll be in a couple videos when I get some more parts installed. Also have this posted a couple videos back. I'll go out there and show it on the next video with these installed. Right, here's one finished door panel. And let me show you the steps it took to get there. So here's how they start out. Cardboard. And these were the better two sides, the better halves. The other ones are trashed. I wish I kept the covers too. I didn't think about doing this video till later. You get a lot of this warped and water damage stuff going on. See a lot of places cover back over that. It's a big no-no to me. So get you some panel board, some new, whatever kind of board you prefer to use. I've been using this white backed, I think it's bathroom paneling. Kind of in between fiberboard and MDF or something. So we need this from the old piece. It's the crown that goes across the top. And that's pressed in from the factory. There's little teeth back here. I don't have a machine press, of course, so I spray glue here on both sides. And get on a real solid piece of concrete or something you have nice and flat and hammer it together. There's the glue I use, Weldwood contact adhesive sprayed through a paint gun, air compressor. So here's all the parts broke down. We're doing away with the handles on these. Just kind of give you an idea what they look like before. Pretty rough. There's a bunch of other parts. And here's what the armrest really looked like before. So let me finish. I'm going to go over this in 3 sections. Try to do it in a timely manner so it's all on one video here. Let's go over the rest of these panels first. Get this stuff out of the way. I do have new outer window sweepers. Felts, window seals, whatever you want to call them. So after we cut out the new board, of course I took the one good pattern, cut it, actually doubled these up and cut them both out at the same time. I cut them out separate, excuse me, but I clamped them together and did all the holes at the same time through both panels. That way they were nice and exact. Alright, so here's step 2 on the panel. After you have connected the crown to the panel itself, this is what you have. I went ahead and installed the clips. Here's a quick tip. Next step, you have to glue foam on the panel. So in order, I've learned from experience, in order to be able to change these in the future without tearing into the foam, there's an old clip and a new one. You have to spin these around in those cut out holes. So this edge, trying to put a new clip in here after the panel's finished, will catch and want to rip the foam. I made some nice little masking tape band-aids. Put adhesive side to adhesive side. And just going to cover those up. The factory one has a whole layer cardboard over these, so there's kind of a space in between And I leave a little edge, that way I can glue my foam nice and tight all around. And it doesn't create any lumps after it's finished. It's good. This was done the same way. So after installing the clips and these, there's two ways you can go about this next step. I chose to add the foam onto the panel itself this time. And this is sew foam, which means it has a backing on it for sewing. I didn't actually use it for that purpose on this one. So I'll normally attach it to the material, to each piece of material, and then sew them all together. Took a different approach on this one because of the basic pattern that I put on it. Alright. And I went ahead and cut all these out. Made it a little easier. Another tip real quick. Leave you a nice edge around ½ inch, ¼ inch at least. ½ inch is ideal because it'll wrap around and give a nice little rounded edge. And a little lump on the back to kind of fill in any space between the metal and the panel. That'll help on that. So there's that step. And let me bring it back. Hold on. Next step would be to glue the material on. When I have all parts caught up and ready to go together, it's kind of held me up when I thought about doing this video. Because after I got so far, I quit and jumped to another piece and got it so far and quit. Kind of lost a lot of my momentum. And I've been waiting for the perfect moment to do this video. No kids and all parts ready. And I was trying to think of what to say in advance, but I'm running it. One shot, one take. Alright, gluing this on will be next. One step I haven't done on this is add the line we need on the material, on the foam, excuse me. So there's our line, guideline, where the material break will be. I transfer that. I have it under here. I'm going to put a mark on the back and then run at least this bottom line so I know where to put that. Not up too high or too low. So once we get the face of this glued, I'll show you what it looks like behind. There's the top. And that's the old window sweeper. I cleaned it up real good, polished the chrome, used some silicone spray for the black, kind of soften it up and blacken it up a little better. And there's the back side. Used some 5/32 staples, ¼ inch staples on this, and I'm still going to go over it with the speaker cloth to black it out. I didn't have any, so I'm waiting on some. And I use pop rivets to attach the old seals back. Those things from the factory have staples, steel staples. Do not try to pry them off when taking it apart. You're just going to bend everything up and make a mess. Best way I've found so far is take a little Dremel tool and cut the staple off from the top and remove it with some needle nose pliers. Or cut both sides right at the edge and pop it apart, fish all your little pieces out. These also, this one's still stuck in here. He has new switches for all these. But here's the base for them. Your best bet on removing these so you don't damage them is to bend these up with this still attached and just work at it. Take a flathead, some pliers, take some channel locks and push both sides in. Take a small flathead and pop one side up to separate those. They're clicked in very tightly. You're going to damage something trying to take a flathead from the front and pop it loose. Alright, that's about it on the panel itself. Now let's jump to the armrest base. It just started out like this. Very rough. These were ready for the trash. So there's no spray dyeing the piece like this. It's going to look horrible. Now you can take some work at it and make it very smooth, and layer after layer you might get something that looks like this with no grain. First step, I'm going to take some really rough 80 grit, whatever you got there, it's rough, knock this down. Should end up with something like this. I may go over this one some more. I can feel some edges here still. But it's a big difference there already. Because one thing, if you try to glue your material over that type of plastic, it's not going to stick good. It's going to show lumps through it. You won't be happy with the outcome. Any deep grooves here, this stuff's like dust. So even if it glues good, it's going to pop back up later and you have air bubbles. That one's nice and glued down in the channel. No air bubbles around it. And you may have to sew these pieces if you use a material that does not stretch very good. You may have to put a seam around here. This is a real stretchy material, and you got to know which way to attack it. So going on a sharp corner like that, I glued the face. I actually glued the whole thing, but I only made contact with the face of it and stretched this out towards the corner, out that way, in a fanning direction. And should end up with that. All the chrome parts here, this is plastic chrome plated. If it was metal, you could use steel wool to clean it up. I used first, it had some funk all over it, so I used the crud cutter. I've shared that many times. Diluted, cleaned it, and took some chrome polish, aluminum polish, chrome polish, whatever you got, and lightly polished it.